What is up, my ninjas? Strident here with another review. This time I'm doing more G.I. Joe stuff. I got my hands finally on a gang of Retaliation stuff. Shit, I practically have the whole first wave minus like 4 or 5 figures that I really wasn't interested. But here is Stormshadow. You guys already know Stormshadow is my dog. That is the character of all of the Cobras that is my absolute favorite. He's second only to Destro. But anyway, we're not here to talk about whose favorite is what and, which characters are my favorites. We're here to talk about this figure. And the Retaliation Stormshadow, it's a mixed bag. Straight up, it's an awesome sculpt. I'll give him that much. And the design is just awesome. It feels like a Metal Gear version of Stormshadow. Just like I said in my thoughts video when I first saw him. He comes with a gang of stuff. That zip line thingamabob, the zip line itself, is 4 feet long, so it's some serious rope. So if you could use it for Batman stuff, you could definitely use it for your Joes, have them rappelling from, your helicopters or your AC-130, I don't know, or jumping out of it and have that line hooked up to them, and I don't know. You could even use it to help suspend some of your flying stuff. But anyway, those are the accessories. 2 swords, the zipline launcher, the zipline itself, and a sheath that goes on the back, a dual sheath. I prefer the old school sheath and swords that he came with back in the Rise of Cobra days. But, I won't really bitch too much. They did a good job kind of making everything look updated. It's very sleek and very... I gotta think of a good way to put this to convey what it is. Compact. Sleek and compact. So it kind of adds to the fact that you really don't know what this guy is carrying on him. It's like taijutsu. You're seeing his costume, you see all the designs, you see the little parts that could be armor and that could be whatever, but you don't know what else this guy has on him. And I think that's awesome. They did a good job with that. He has the new wrists that you've seen since Pursuit of Cobra, which are awesome. I love them. I wish that they had them on more characters. Well, more Retaliation characters. Strangely enough, in all the different packs that they did, which I will be getting to at some point, they don't all have those wrists. Kamakura and Roadblock don't have them. But anyway, his articulation is awesome. It allows for some really good poses. He almost feels like they just shaved down the Renegade Stormshadow. But he is made out of a lighter, softer plastic, which sucks when it comes to holding their weapons. Because, as you can see in some of the pictures, if you look closely on this one, you can see it. I still got the rubber band that was attached to his hand in the package. All the ninjas have rubber bands attached to their hands so that they can hold their swords, which is just ghetto to me. I wasn't expecting that to be an issue because most G.I. Joe toys can hold their weapons. I always hated when, in the recent years, when they make these fancy schmancy Storm Shadows and Snake Eyes, and they can't hold their weapons because they sculpted individual fingers and there's not enough pressure or grip for their swords, or they make the handles to the swords too small. In this case, it's a combination of both. The handles are really skinny. They look awesome, don't get me wrong, but they're really skinny, so it's really hard to get them to hold it, perfectly like you see in these images. But once you do get him positioned properly, if he falls down, he might drop his weapons, but typically standing up, he's really good at holding them, and he looks cool doing it. And that's pretty much what you want in your Joes, I am not a stickler for packaging, but I have to point out some things about the packaging. What the fuck is up with this packaging? Honestly, what the fuck? They went from the awesomeness that was the 30th anniversary / Pursuit of Cobra / Renegades, whatever, where you felt like you were getting a figure that was collector worthy and just casual, play worthy. Kids could pick it up. It fit. Adults could pick it up if you're a collector, and it fit. This shit, what is this? It looks like a dollar store design, some things, if it's not broken, you don't need to fix it, like the old saying goes. And the packaging was one of those things. I don't think that there was anything wrong with the original packaging. They should have just left it alone. The figures in general feel kind of cheap. The ones in the 3-packs are a little heavier than the single carded figures, but this line seems like it's destined to cause a lot of people to stop collecting G.I. Joes, at least at this scale. Strangely enough, it took me a lot of searching, but I did finally find a gang of them. My local Target, well, one of the local Targets, just got in their shipment, and there's tons of them everywhere. So I managed to pick up a good portion of them, as well as a couple Rise of Cobra figures I picked up over the past month. I ordered some stuff after I finished a illustration job that I was paid handsomely for. I ordered, a couple figures here and there, but yeah, I wasn't expecting to see these guys at Target, and I did, and I was really happy about that. But then, I got all geeked, and you know how your impulse takes over and you just buy all these guys. So I bought a bunch of the figures, opened them up. The Cobra or G.I. Joe Troopers, I love them. Those are awesome. But Stormshadow was a mixed bag. I was mad that I had to put the rubber band on him to hold his swords. I was angry about the fact that he really didn't come with much as far as accessories go. I think I was spoiled by Pursuit of Cobra, because the Pursuit of Cobra figures have so much packed in the, with them, that it's kind of like, you expect this to be the norm from now on, but you can see that Hasbro's going in this cheap direction that everyone else goes in, and it's what's going to fuck up this line. It's going to make the line a shell of its former self, and I don't think that's any good. I think what should be done is that they should go back and pay attention to what they've done thus far that's made them so popular and successful. I don't understand what it is about. I don't understand why Hasbro is choosing to pick up these cheap practices. It's cheapening everything, and to me, it's just not cool. But as far as this figure goes, if you're not a stickler for your action figures being able to hold their weapons and not drop them, and if you don't mind your figures being made of cheap plastic that will probably break if they fall multiple times, or even the paint, you can see it on like his sword when it's in focus, the previous image. It's a different kind of paint that just seems cheaper. I mean, you can see all the little, granulates or granules of shine. You know what I mean? The prismatic granules. And, you put him next to a Pursuit of Cobra figure or a Rise of Cobra figure, and I know people bitched about them, but they were quality figures. The movie might have been lame, but for the most part, the figures were quality. They held their weapons. They came with tons of stuff, and a lot of them had weapon storage, And the paint jobs were mostly stellar. I really didn't have issues with my Pursuit of Cobra figures. I've had one figure that I really, next to the Neo Viper's feet, I had one figure that I really didn't like, and that was the second version of Heavy Duty, with the jungle camo on. I hated his eyes, and if you go back and look at my review for that one, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, this Stormshadow figure, you can have fun with him. I mean, if you're a fan of Stormshadow, it's just another awesome design for him, and there aren't really that many, so it's kind of a must-have, even if it's not of the same quality as the Renegade's Stormshadow was, but he has the same articulation. I guess one more criticism would be that the new swivel feet weren't done entirely correctly. It's like having a rocker. You have a standard swivel joint, and then you have rocker ankles. But the foot itself can't turn. So if you need to angle their feet, it's really hard to angle them because you can't turn at the ankle. I wish they would, you know, pick one or just find a way to make it work both ways. You know, there are some good, what is it, soda action figures that pulled it off, and they should imitate that. You know, give them the swivel and the, you know, pivot, and just have it on a peg instead of just sculpting the ankle all the way down to the, you know, the joint, and then having the rocker be on the same portion as what clips into the joint at the ankle. It just seems kind of like you're using the same amount of plastic. Why not just make that extra cut? But overall, this is a thorough Stormshadow. If you're a fan of the character, if you like ninjas, if you, I don't know, if you like slick designs where the form and the function kind of follow, because this does look like he could take, you know, gunfire to the chest and not die, probably to anywhere, because there's armor all throughout this costume. It looks like it's been, you know, reinforced, but it's hidden. So it's very much a ninja suit as well as futuristic, you know, armor. So I'm digging it. I don't think this is the suit that he uses in the movie, but I am digging what I see with this figure, and I'll be playing with it, and I might change his hands, because a hand swap would fix one of my biggest gripes, just like I did with my Retaliation Stormshadow. So all in all, pick him up if you see him. I think he's a worthwhile figure to you know, have in your collection. I will be back soon with more reviews on this Retaliation stuff and the plight of G.I. Joe Retaliation, the film. So stay tuned, people, all right? Peace.